today's segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the Tahlequah economy and some of the components of our economy, and talk about taxes and revenues and spending and those things that affect all of us here in Tahlequah. And I think one of the things, Patty, there's a lot of components to what's going on in our economy, but with your experience in the real estate locally, there's a great opportunity for people, from what I understand, about a straight tax credit of $8,000 for people who purchase a new home. Why don't we talk a little bit about that? I like that plus $8,000 to start the conversation.
Well, you're not the only one, and it has driven the sales of homes. It really has. It's really affected the first-time home buyer, of course, because it's the first-time home buyer tax credit, and they have extended it. And it gave us a real good boon in the sales. You know, it was kind of slow in 2009, and we are in 2010. And if you have never owned a home before, and you go on contract for a home from December the 1st in 2009, then you have all the way to, I believe it is April 30th, that you can go on contract to buy a home as long as it closes before June the 30th, and you get a tax credit of $8,000. Now there are some stipulations to that, of course, and you can go online and find the whole. I pulled this off of line, and it's got some real good benefits for you, and you can use that money in several different ways, which is nice. You can apply it to your home, or you can make improvements on your home, and but there are some guidelines that you do have to follow. But the main point is that it has boosted home sales, and Tahlequah has not really been hurt like the rest of the United States. Oklahoma has really fared fairly well. Not that we ever had the high boon that a lot of the country did have, but we never had the low lows either.
What about locally, as you went through the last cycle of the tax credit, did you see from a local market maybe a 5, 10, 15% kind of bonus buyers that were out there that used that tax credit to help them make that decision?
Yeah, I don't know that I have actual percentages for that, but yes, definitely. And a lot of it were young couples, young little families that are just starting out, really taking advantage of that. And if you had a home for sale anywhere in the price range of $70 to $130, you could pretty much figure it was going to be sold. It really helped our existing homes that were sitting out there. The new home sales, or the building starts, kind of slowed last year a little bit. We didn't have as many new homes being built, so it really gave us a boon for some of our existing homes. And if you had a smaller home and you wanted to move up, well, it was a good time to do that. You could sell that to some of these younger families coming up, taking advantage of the tax credit, and then move on up yourself. So it had a really nice ripple effect.
Well, as we look at the local economy, I mean, the state of Oklahoma in recent weeks has announced certainly some shortfalls in their revenue, and it has certainly gotten the attention of people both in the community, but also community leaders and school superintendents who are going to be impacted. And of course, here at NSU, President Betts has been, along with his finance crew, have been really on top of it as we try to manage our way through this, we call it the temporary crisis, and it is. And I happen to work for Governor Nye, his administration, back in the 80s when oil went from $40 a barrel to $2 a barrel, and some very difficult times in Oklahoma.
Interest rates were 17%.
Exactly, prime rate at 19 or something. So, but we managed our way through that, and I think that's an important part of the message today, is that there are opportunities for people who their jobs are secure and they're feeling good about their place in the economy, and opportunities to buy a home and start their home life with the tax credit from the federal government. And I think people do get concerned about, well, exactly where is the money coming from, and where is it being spent? And I think locally we have good stewards of our tax dollars, both on the city and county level. And I know this time of year, a lot of people have just paid their first portion of their ad valorem tax on their homes or properties, and they're now moving maybe to the second half coming up in March. But it's a substantial investment in the community, and it goes on year after year. Those services year after year through the county commissioners and all the areas that they oversee, and our county court system and our county offices, but also our city. This year's budget in the city is a little over $11 million.
Oh, wow. It sounds like a lot, but it doesn't go very far, does it?
It's very, very tight budget. In the years that I served as mayor, we really managed closely. After a period of the 9/11, when the economy dropped a little bit, we really had to kind of watch our P's and Q's on our budgets. Payroll takes up the significant portion of most any government budget, and it certainly has to be addressed. I know you read and hear from time to time in the Tulsa world about they're having serious problems in Tulsa, and we haven't really experienced that in Tahlequah, and I hope we don't, but our variation on our sales tax has been very minimal compared to, say, Tulsa and Oklahoma City, who've really seen a significant drop in their sales tax.
Well, and I think that's why programs like our Shop Tahlequah First is so important to the survival of our area, because if we keep our money at home, it just stays here, and it only helps to make us all better. And Jerry, you were talking about taxes. You're in a good position to talk about just how our tax dollar works. When we pay sales tax, when we go grocery shopping or we go to buy a shirt down at the store, where does that tax dollar go?
Well, that local sales tax money all goes back into the city of Tahlequah's general revenue account, and then it's dispersed by direction of the mayor and city council with a pre-approved annual budget into a large portion of it, of course, is for police and fire protection, which goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Very important part of the community service. And then there's parks and recreation. What do we do for our youth in these summer programs in our parks and so forth? There's other city services that come out of that, and city records that must be kept and maintained and archived for years and years and years.
Well, and for tourism, your parks have to be in good working order for tourists, which is so vital to our economy too.
And there's another tax also, is our hotel motel tax that's collected locally, which has really been on the incline the last few years with our new hotels in town. And that money all is reinvested right back into Tahlequah, promoting the quality of life here and encouraging visitors to come and share a part of their time and their resources here in the community. So it's a very important, all those things fit together.
Well, and I think that when you're looking at our services here in Tahlequah, we haven't really had to cut back that much.
Not yet.
Not yet, and we hope that that yet doesn't come. So it's important that you do keep your money at home. Shop at home whenever possible, because it only stands to help us all.
Well, the approach I took when I was mayor a few years ago, and we had this little bit of roller coaster down after the 9/11, the economy slowed slightly. We all got together in the council, and my point was we've decided we're not going to participate in the recession. And so we decided it wasn't the thing to do. We were going to move the city forward, and you know what, we did. And I think that's what we can do here in Tahlequah today, is just encourage everybody to stay focused about today's opportunities, whether it's an $8,000 tax credit or spending money at the local retailers and restaurants. Every penny adds up, and it's all about keeping that money here. David Moore will tell you, every dollar that's collected locally, every dollar that's spent locally turns 7 times before it leaves Tahlequah.
That's right. And when you ask me how the real estate market is in Tahlequah, I say it's great, especially when you compare it to other areas. We're very blessed here in Tahlequah.
We certainly are. Well, we hope our viewers enjoyed just a little recap on the local economy. We'll try to do that every once in a while.
And Jerry, I've enjoyed this first episode of Latte in 2010.
Looking forward to a great year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Patty.
We'll be right back.